get organized here. What we'll do here is we'll talk to the end of at 3:30. We'll stop, and if some of you guys that are horribly addicted to tobacco and you have to take a smoke, go ahead. We're going to keep going. We're going to answer some of these questions real quick, just to speed things along. Some of you guys are I sure appreciate y'all coming and staying as long as you did. It's I mentioned it earlier. This approach business. 30 places in the book it talks about that. 123 places in the first 88 pages it talks about working with others. It's just this whole idea. Sooner or later you can go work, guys. But the deal was to go really quick with this. The guy that brought AA to Texas, a guy named Larry Jewell, and he was up in Cleveland, and he was the weather up there was killing him. He was in really bad shape, bad alcoholic, and the guys in Alcoholics Anonymous up there in Cleveland gathered around and took up a collection and bought him a big book and a train ticket to Houston. He had an opportunity for working in a newspaper. He was a newspaper guy working in a newspaper in Houston, and so he read the big book on the train ride to Houston, and he got there and he wrote what was going to be the first 4 brochures that AA published, for handing outs. And this guy was phenomenal. He went up on the East Texas and started AA meetings. They went over to Austin. Y'all thought, guys, went over to Kerrville where I grew up, and he started carrying the message. I got a chance to go to Stepping Stones. I wish I had time to tell you the story, but if you look in Witt's End in the office where Bill Wilson wrote the 12 and 12, his little office, there's a bulletin board up there with little push pins in there, and there was a pin right there in where Kerrville is, that whole area. He stayed in touch with Larry. They just networked. This guy had never been to a meeting ever. He read the book, was instructed to go help people, and y'all get the gist is, it's so often it's kind of frustrating in Alcoholics Anonymous. The opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. And we have a lot of people in our rooms that are just sitting around, waiting for the little newcomer to come in, and then just, we're looking at membership, we're growing, but the little newcomer doesn't know the questions to ask. It just drives me crazy. I could talk, he never asked for help. He walked into a room full of crazy people, just total strangers, and he's in there, but somebody needs to grab him. Myers, my twin brother, is just master at it. He'll see somebody come in like that, and he'll be over there on foot. Hey, how you doing? Little guy said, y'all know a newcomer, what they look like. They're looking at the floor. They're scared to death. They look uncomfortable. Hey, can I get you a cup of coffee? Why don't you come up and sit with me? Makes me want to cry. Yeah. What difference does that make? It makes all the difference in the world. If they don't feel a part of this, they're not going to stay. We need to love on these guys, folks. Don't just assume that somebody else is going to get them. You go get them. I said it earlier, guys. You think you have an idea. The spiritual warfare is that we think we got this figured out, and then I know who's going to, guys. We network in this deal, and it's I don't know, the people that I get to reach, there's people I can't touch. And I know people in there that can. And part of my job is sponsorship and service work along those lines is to help people get connected to the people. I know people, buddy, I've never had any experience with that, but I got a friend in AA back over here that went through the same thing. Maybe I could hook you up. The problem is we ignore people, and they eventually they'll leave. They're not going to stay. So you kind of got to, that's the most difficult thing to look. Bill Wilson. There's a great picture of Bill and Dr. Bob. It's online. You can see it. It's a picture of Bill and Dr. Bob, and they're laughing their asses off about something. I would love to have known what they were laughing about. But y'all seen pictures, they're laughing like that. And then at the bottom of the picture it says, and something passed between us. Y'all got Bill Wilson's coming out of the Mayflower Hotel. If y'all go to Akron, you can go to the Mayflower Hotel. It's a condo now, but you can go, and they had to reinvent. it's phenomenal to sit there right there in the elevator where it comes off, and you can go at Founders Day, guys, but there's thousands of people there. It's kind of difficult. Go on a Saturday afternoon sometime when there's you can get all these tours. Intergroup there in Akron will help you, but you can get to sit there. Bill Wilson had this business deal gone bad, and he gets off the elevator and there's a bar at one end. Y'all know the story, and maybe I'll go down and have a couple. He's 6 months sober. He's been working with drunks at Towns Hospital. And he's 6 months sober, and he walks off that deal and he says, "I knew I needed another alcoholic to work with as much as that alcoholic could ever need me." And he went down to the Marquee and he started making some phone calls. Ended up with Henrietta Cyberly. She invited him over. He didn't have enough money to pay his hotel room. He lost it all, and he ends up staying with her. And he says, "I know a guy named Dr. Bob. Been trying to help him in the Oxford movement, trying to help him in the church. He's a church guy." And he said, "Maybe I could set up a meeting." Dr. Bob was too drunk to talk to him that night, but the next day he said, "I'll go down there and we'll sit with this guy for 15 minutes, and then we'll go home." 6 hours later, they're still sitting in Henrietta Cyberling's Gate Lodge talking. Have y'all ever experienced that? You sit down across from somebody that finally knows what they're talking about, whether it's alcohol or drugs or whatever, and it's like, "What? Oh, really? Yeah." Better than anything. It changed Dr. Bob's life. He messed around for a little bit, had one little relapse, and then he went out and immediately started making amends. Kicking butt. Never drank again. He sponsored over 5,000 people in the 15 years that he was sober. 5,000 people. He didn't do this like some, well, we're going to sit down and, no, we're not. This is going to be quick triage. And then you're going to get your butt out there and help us carry the message. That's why we had so many more people getting sober in that area in Akron than we did in New York. We weren't just sitting around talking about our day. We were out there seeing who we could go help. Doesn't sound like much fun until you do it, and it'll change your life. I had a deal here, and I can't find it. Bill wrote an article in 1961. This is 10 years before he passed away in 1971. Emphysema. He was a smoker fool. If y'all go to Stepping Stones, guys, y'all got to check it out. If y'all can see it at his desk, this big oak desk, it's got cigarette burns all around this guy was awesome. He smoked until the last second of his life. He was puffing on the smoke, but he wrote this article called "The Dilemma of No Faith." Again, I can send it to you if you can get it on the Grapevine site too. But he mentions this. He said, though 300,000, again, this is 1961, though 300,000 did recover in the last 25 years, maybe 500,000 more have walked into our midst and then out again. Yet we can't well content ourselves with the view that all of these recovery failures were entirely the fault of the newcomers themselves. Perhaps a great many didn't receive the kind and amount of sponsorship they so sorely needed. We didn't communicate when we might have done so we AAs failed them. A lot of humility there. Y'all thought? Yeah. He's given us our marching orders, and all we got to do is follow up and do it. It's just that simple. I keep repeating myself, though. It's this idea. Yeah. Sobriety, freedom from alcohol through the teaching and practice of the 12 steps is the sole purpose of the AA group. Groups have repeatedly tried other activities and always failed. The thought language of the heart. We have our marching orders, guys. We're supposed to be there to help that little newcomer. Go get you a newcomer. I literally talked to an old geezer in my hometown. I saw him in a grocery store, and I said, "Buddy, why don't you come over and see us?" And he says, "No, man, there's just too many newcomers there." No, they want to go sit in the meeting with 8 or 9 old geezers and talk about their prostates. I know exactly what they want to go do. It's okay. But you're missing the juice. You're missing guys, you sit in these meetings and you sit down there. I always laugh about it. Months ago, I'm sitting there next to Patty and the meeting's ending, and I'm looking at this little newcomer is across the way, and I says, "Is that guy looking at me?" And she said, "Yeah." He's looking dead at, "Yeah." I said, "Man, I can't sponsor anybody else. I'm bloated up. I got too much shit going on. I can't sponsor it." She said, well, okay, tell him that. That's okay. We say, keep coming back. It works. Okay, we finish the Lord's Prayer. Right? He's coming. Y'all know that. Y'all know that sound in Jaws. Dun, 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 dun. He's coming 100 miles an hour. He's making a big. I says, is he coming? She said, oh, yeah, he's coming. He's pushing people out of the way like that. He's coming fast. He's coming in. And he gets right up next to me. There's a depth perception deal with one eye. Y'all follow? That's why I back up a lot of times. It's not your breath. I think you're stepping on me, you know. And he's walking up like that. He pushes me out. He strong arms me. He just puts me out of the way and shoves me aside to get to this little guy right behind me. No, this is this little guy. Y'all know the little guy. Little skinny guy with tattoos from head to foot. You got piercings and those little things that you put in your ear like dinner plates. I don't know. Y'all have heard me talk about this little guy before. He's still around. I talk to him. I've sponsored him forever. He's just a good little guy, you know. And he's just like, he'd be smoking out there. I don't know why nobody seems to want to talk to me. They can't see you, you know. If you have to hold your vape with two hands, it's too big. He's got this fucking toaster with a nipple on it, you know. And he's sitting out there. All you can see is the little legs out there. He pushes me aside and then wants to. Can you sponsor me to this little guy? And I looked at Patty. I thought what I shared tonight was particularly good. I got my little feelings hurt. You know what the hell? He didn't want anything I had to say. Y'all understand? Mr. Guru Old Timer. He wanted this little guy back here. And I'm cleaning the place up, and I'm walking out the door, and I look back over. Y'all get the lights, okay? And he's sitting at the table with this little guy. Y'all follow? Okay, now, next time we meet, I'm going to see you tomorrow. I want you to bring a highlighter. Just the same shit I told him 6 months ago. And he's got it. Picture of Bill and Dr. Bob, and I see. Y'all see how this works? Guys, y'all realize if that little girl hadn't stopped me from leaving the room, I'd have died. I'd have gone home and finished the job. If those two old timers hadn't missed their dinner time, you know, to stay and talk to me after the meeting. You think everybody's got time, guys? I'm telling you, this window of opportunity that we have is, I don't know how long you've got. I just know if you wait too long, you're gonna die. Let's get it while the getting's good. That little guy he's working with is still sober too. He's kicking butt, taking names. I don't know. He just got a new tattoo. I don't know what that. Maybe it had nothing to do with the steps. I don't know. Maybe it's just a habit. I don't know. We just got to, do what we can do. Guys, if you're looking for a sponsor, they kind of divide it up between two spots. There's this completely ineffectual sponsor, and there's this dictator. Y'all know the dictator. Okay, I want you to put a suit on every time. Okay, and I want you to do this, and I don't want you to do that. You can't date for the first year. I don't want you to have any job change. You know, no major decisions. Book doesn't say any of that crap. That's the stuff that makes us look cultish. That makes us look stupid. Y'all follow? Date. Thank God I was 13 stepped. I'm just, oh my God. The other end of the deal, I'm just kidding. The other end of the deal was this completely ineffectual. Okay, well, good job. Well, we'll see you next week. He ain't coming back. Get him. The iron's hot. They've asked. Let's go. And it's just, all about work and self-sacrifice for others is what Bill said. We read it earlier. Y'all understand what that's about? This whole deal about sponsorship it's going to be time-consuming. Maybe you can get a few of them together and do it all at one time. You know, it's going to take a little effort. Some of us can sponsor more people than others, but everybody needs a job to get in there and do a service. And I'm just saying, guys, if you can't sponsor because you travel too much, whatever it is, now we've got this thing called Zoom. Can you say Zoom? Come on, guys, I sponsor people on Zoom. It's pretty cool. You know, you could do the same thing. A lot of people think you can't, but I guarantee you can. It's, Again, I read it earlier, that little page 129, guys, it tells us, in those first days of convalescence, nothing's going to help you stay sober like intensive work with another drunk. You sit down and sit down next to a little dumpster fire, and help him put out the flame. This is going to be good. And then you get to watch him catching fire. Guys, you'll be stuck forever. I got to tell you, we used to take Mom to eating meetings for a long time. She wanted to go. She was so thrilled to death about Alcoholics Anonymous. And when I first got sober, she was so funny. She said, I think I broke the rules in Alcoholics Anonymous. I said, what do you mean, Mom? She said, I put you on the prayer list of every church in town. Everybody tiptoeing around with this one name and a last initial crap, and it's just like, okay. She was something else. She said, I even told the Catholics. That's the heavy shit right there, buddy. But we'd take her to eating meetings so she could see what we were doing. She wanted to get out of the house. Bless her little heart, she was in the 90s. And she'd come out and go to the meetings with us like that. Every time I'm driving her home after the meeting like that, she'd be crying. She said, oh, my God. I said, Mom, what's wrong? Are you okay? She said, it's the same every time I go to those meetings. I wish we could find that kind of love in our churches. Yeah. You'll never find the kind of love that we have in our rooms. I got to tell you real quick. I had a stupid health problem a few years ago. I had a case of vertigo. I'd never had vertigo. I was talking at the South Carolina State Conference, and I got up one Saturday morning. And I got up to get ready to go and fell on the floor. Couldn't get up. Thought I was going to die. And I finally got to the phone and called my little host guys, and he came and got me. Sat with me for two stints in the emergency room. Everybody up there at that conference, I couldn't speak, couldn't stand. Got me back to the airport. Checked on me. I still got people from South Carolina calling and checking on me, seeing how I'm doing. Guys, I never saw anything like it. You got a problem in AA, you sit there and talk, let's go to Denny's and talk about it. I guarantee you there's half a dozen of us that have had the same experience. My whole life is to try to help somebody else. And again, I can hear it right now in your little head. That may be true for some people, but it's not going to work for me. I can't help anybody. Can't even help myself. Yeah, hold that thought. It's an amazing thing. You get out here and start working these steps. Every single one of you in this room, you're going to hear it. It's amazing. Everybody that's ever been sponsored, everybody that's you'll follow at a certain point, working in the steps. Sometimes I don't know what step you're going to be on. You'll hear a sound like that. What is that? Holy shit! There's other people on this earth besides me. Your head just popped out of your own asshole, and you're like, oh my God. Yeah, and then just look around and watch them, guys. Somebody comes up to you and asks. The guy, when I got sober, they said, Chris, if somebody asked you to sponsor them, say yes. And then call me because your life's fixing to change forever. I'll help you. And sure enough, I was about a month in, and this little guy comes up, that little guy at the Waffle House. He came up and said, do you think maybe you could sponsor me? And I looked at my sponsor, and he had that look on his face, his arms crossed. He's standing there right next to me and he's looking at me like, what are you going to do, bud? Make the right decision. Well, sure, absolutely. Scary? Yes. Did I get in over my head? Absolutely. Did I know where I could go ask for help? A village of Alcoholics Anonymous. You better believe it. Guys, if you get somebody that's not working for you, it's okay to fire one. If you have a sponsor that's not working, it's okay to dust them. Guys, I need to go find somebody else. Okay, and if they get mad, you know you've made the right decision. I sponsor a SIA guys. They're not my guys. They're my friends. Okay, and if you would rather go get somebody else that's just perfectly okay. It's okay to fire one. Well, I don't want to hurt her feelings. But you're going to die. What? You need to get what you need. Sometimes we outgrow folks. I'm all for it. I know some of you guys sponsor women, and some of you women sponsor guys. The guys that I work with, it's a shit show. I'm just saying. If it's working for you, then do it. There's nothing in the book that says you can't. I've just seen lots and lots of crazy shit that happens. You know, follow? AA boy meets AA girl on AA campus. AA wife is pissed. I just be careful. I don't. Because, if I got to talk to somebody, who are you whispering at 2 o'clock in the morning, out there in the living room? Susan? I'll shut up, okay? Real quick, there was a kid that went through treatment where I worked long time ago, and his son I'd met him in family program stuff, and he was there. He was just a nice guy. He'd go to meetings with us. He was in Al-Anon, and we do a men's retreat up in Texas with AA men and Al-Anon men that all get together for a weekend in May, and it's just something I look forward to every year. But anyway, this guy was up there, and he brought me this little card. No, you can't read it because he put his name on there. But the kid had died, overdosed. And he'd written this before he passed away to his family. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but one deal. I hope to one day make you all proud that you have me in your lives. Maybe someday down the line, I can freely give to others that which have been given to me. A little glimmer of hope and the prospect of never having to feel or live this way again. Thank you. Did you get it? Not someday down the line, folks. Now, today, you be looking for anybody out there that you can be of service to. If you don't want to do it in AA, do it in the church. If you don't want to do it in the church, do it in the Little League. I don't care where you do. You're going to be a servant to the people around us, or you're going to end up in trouble. Stop putting it off. There's never going to be a day I graduated, now I can sponsor. Guys, it doesn't say that. It says you can be of service in those first days of convalescence. Faster you get through the work, you can start sponsoring. That's the ultimate deal, guys. It's pretty cool. I'll read you one quote. One of Bill Wilson's favorite authors was a guy named William James. Some of y'all read Varieties of the Religious Experience. Yeah, it is not a page turner. It is. You're not going to lay out by the pool and read this. Isn't this fascinating? No, you're not. It's complicated. It's a beautiful book. One of his quotes in there, he said, though, guys, act as if what you do makes a difference. Why? Because it does. Amen. Thanks, guys. Any questions? Yes, y'all. Y'all want to keep it on for Q&A? Okay, we're going to read these questions again, guys. If y'all got to go, you got to go. But and I'm reading them in order. How could sponsors be more effective by carrying the message of Al-Anon to the alcoholic family members? Is it the sponsor's responsibility? What a great question. But I think it's something that we need to look at. The more often we can get the family involved, the better it's going to be. I don't know if any of y'all have ever experienced this, but if you get somebody that, what's this? Let's not. If you don't include the family, pretty soon the families will get jealous of the time that we're spending in our rooms. And it gets to be, we're all on recovery, guys, and we're all there together. I love the fellowship together. But to encourage it, the guys that I sponsor, I make sure that they know where the Al-Anon literature is and that they got a schedule so that the family members can go. And some just flat don't want to go. I got that, but some do. So just be a conduit. Try to help where you can help. That's is sponsorship on the recovery or the service side of the triangle? What a great question. This I get asked all the time. Remember we have the service triangle we put up there? It's it's in the recovery piece. It's the 12th step. It's one of the deal, but it's also in the service section. Bill Wilson talks about it. Guys, you can be of service in lots of different areas. Can y'all get that? The guy that made the coffee, thank you. The people that are going to clean up here in a few minutes, thank you for doing whatever we can do to help be of service. That's what it's about. But it can be in both. There'll be people that'll take exception with that, but I think so. What about the new sponsee What about new sponsee refusing to carry the big book to meetings because because in her country they frown on that. Big book as an evangelist. What a great question. Yeah. Folks, I can't force anybody to do anything, but if I'm sponsoring them, this stigma around alcoholism stuff has got to stop. Guys, I got a disease. I didn't ask for it. But my responsibility is square on my shoulders to do that. In order to do that, I've got to be a little bit of an open book. I'm not a tradition buster. You can be as anonymous as you want. But Bill Wilson wrote a bunch of stuff out there. It's about taking a stand. And it's that simple. You can be a real anonymous, not tell anybody, or you can be as open about it as you want, as long as you're not at the level of press, radio, and films. Yeah, I mean, I know people that leave treatment. I'm not going to tell anybody in my family that I'm in recovery. You're not staying sober. I do the follow-up call, guys. I've watched it 1,000. You are not going to stay sober. So the more people that we can let into our lives, the better it's going to be. It's a great question. You spoke of unity. I'm almost at a year. I have a general disdain for people. Me too. Me too. How do I force myself to open up and get to know others and let them know me? That's the toughest question in this bunch. Again, that was the hardest thing for me to do, is let people into my life. Guys, you don't have to be the social butterfly. There's some people, you've never met a stranger. You're just out there laughing and having a good time. And some of us are a little more introverted. But you got to have a few people around you that you can trust and depend on. You got to do that. If going to that big meeting with 150 people in there freaks you out, then go find you a nice smaller little meeting to go to. It's either way. But if you remember what we're talking about, but go with the idea that you can help somebody. I understand it. Y'all got my number over there. You call me anytime you want. We can visit about it. Bless your heart. How do you deal with fear? Klonopin. We're not supposed to do that? I'm sorry. Yeah. Guys, I'm going to tell you what. If you look, I can't move from here. You see the little face up there I put, this God, your little higher power? If you look in between that, self-pity and fear and resentment, those are the main offenders. That'll block you in a heartbeat. Guys, how many of us Mark used to laugh about, my old sponsor. He used to say, I'd wake up and there'd be a dark shape at the end of the bed and say, hi, Mark, my name is Fear, and I'm going to ride your ass all day long. Isn't it the truth? What if they don't like me? What if I don't do good at work? What happens if the cops what happens? Just quit. Guys, God's got us. All those little guardian angels that you don't believe in, they're there. You're going to be okay. The simple fact that you talk about it to your sponsor and the people around you, be truthful, transparent, honest. Guys, if I'm not in a good spot, I'm going to tell you. When my insides don't match my outsides, it's a shitstorm. I can pretend. No. We're done with pretending, folks. We've done that for years. I'm not going to do that anymore. We're all different. Bless you. If you do a fear inventory, you'll see what that's about, though. That fear inventory will help you see exactly what the fears are, and then we ask God to remove those fears. Page 67. It works. What are some instructions for qualifying the newcomer? We've been talking about it all day today, guys. It's the two questions. Jerry mentioned it on top of page 44. If y'all get that little index from me, it'll show you in there like that. The two questions. It's about choice and control. Can y'all see that? Physical craving. When you drink, can you guarantee me how much you're going to drink every time? No. Given sufficient reason. It's causing a problem with the family, your health, whatever. Can you stop and stay stopped? No. We had a lady that came to treatment here, and she stayed an extra long period of time, and she did everything we were supposed to do. Lawyer had required her to do this to avoid a 10-year prison sentence. You stay sober, and we'll give you probation. And she walked off campus and didn't do a thing we asked her to do because she thought fear of drinking was going to stop her from. And she's in jail now. Fear ain't going to keep you sober. Ask her the two questions. She had that lurking notion in the back of her head that her case was different. Yes, fear is going to keep me sober. I don't need to work those stupid steps. Fear will never keep you sober. It might stop you once or twice. It won't. When that mental obsession comes back, you're off to the stupid races. Some of you guys looking for another tattoo on your ass, that's what you need to do. Choice and control. No. How do you keep from burnout in AA, or what to do if for your experience? What's a great question? Y'all follow? The hand of AA will always reach out. And at a certain point, you've got to set some boundaries a little bit. Y'all follow? I'm going to do as much as I can do, but if I can't, y'all follow? I know people that just get burned out and they leave. We can't afford to leave a single one of you, lose one of y'all out there. I've watched lots of people leave AA because they're just pulled like taffy. Can y'all see it? That's why I asked the guys I sponsored to please try to call me in the daylight. Well, what if it's a problem at night? Write it down and call me in the morning. I'm just saying. Come on, guys. If you're dying, call me. But just call and visit me at 11 o'clock at night. Thank you. I'm sorry. You've had 400 glasses of coffee? No. I'm just saying, guys, it's okay to set some boundaries. Do what you can do. There were periods of my life, guys, that I couldn't do near as much in AA as I do today. I was working 2 jobs. I had all this. I couldn't do some of this stuff. Some of you got kids and families. Some of you are not going to be able to do as much as somebody else. But you got to do something. Find your little niche, guys. It works. It works perfect. Where do I start if my willingness is low? Yeah. Guys, you don't have to have the zeal of the Crusaders to do this. It's just a little bit of willingness. Are you willing to take one little step and just get started on this? If you sit down and let somebody qualify you, the tension that you feel, y'all follow? I mean, when you finally see, God dang, I'm an alcoholic. Y'all follow that? Your little butt's puckering a little bit, and you think, I'm just like, that'll propel you through the early steps. Get it done. The willingness will come after that. You guys get some. It's scary. We're asking you to do something that feels so. Good gosh, guys. The courage it takes you guys to lay down the one thing, got a beer right here. You're going to ask you to lay down the one thing that makes you feel okay inside. It's just all kinds of courage. I guarantee you, a lot of family members don't understand that. Just come on. Stick with us. Because if you got somebody on your shoulder helping you, it'll be a lot easier. Be transparent. Don't just talk to me. Talk to the person around you. I guarantee you. What's your 3 secrets of being able to have healthy relationship? Yeah. How do you ensure not to let relationship get between you and recovery? Guys, it's a great question. I'm going to sum it up real quick. Y'all understand? This is life and death. I'm sorry that you have to do chemo for cancer, but you got to do it. Your families will love us, guys, but you got to say there's some little balance in it. That's why I said include your family members in our recovery. Take them to some meetings. Let them see what this is about. This is not some dark cult thing. Just let them come. They'll see your crazy people. Who is that over there laughing his ass off? Yeah, come on, I want to introduce you. Just make them feel a part of this, and they'll be okay. My second marriage died because of this, because I kept her at bay. This is my stuff. This is, and she got jealous of it. She got defensive about it. We don't need to do that. Bill Wilson's pretty clear. He wrote a chapter of the wives and family after. He's pretty clear about this. We're supposed to include these folks. So good luck with that. Well, yeah. There's so much therapy and self-help. It bleeds into the meetings. Sucks. Can you chat about that? The sucking part? Yes. It does, guys. We got to be real careful because there's a lot of people out there that want to bring therapy into 12 steps. Y'all follow? You got to be real careful with it in meetings. If I'm sponsoring somebody and they need a therapist, I got a list of some good people that can help them. I'm a huge fan of therapy. I'm a fan of medications. If you certain medications, they'll change your life if you need them. I'm a huge fan of that. But I'm not going to sit in a meeting and talk to people about that. One-on-one. Let's go to Denny's and talk about it. And then we can visit. Could y'all see? Got too many junior therapists out there trying to be. No, that's where all the little rules and regulations. You can't date for a year. Come on, really, guys? Where does that come from? That guy's not getting you drunk. God may drop the perfect one in your lap tonight. Oh, but I can't because my sponsor told me I can't. This is ridiculous. I don't know. Just try to stay focused. Again, I go to meetings of the Big Book. You follow? We try to discuss this and nothing else. Afterwards, when we go to Denny's, we can sit and talk about any of that other stuff. And if I can help you, we can do that. I can refer you to some good lawyers. Some of you might need that. Freedom is doing what you ought to do because you want to do it. Yeah. How can I set myself to want to do it? Go drink some more. No, I'm being sarcastic. No, I understand it. It's hard for some of us to do that, guys. Again, you in your own way. You don't have to do it like I do it. You don't have to just. Can you show up for somebody else? Can you look around the room as you're looking at the clock and tapping your foot, waiting for it to end so you can go back out and smoke? Can you just be there for a few seconds for somebody else in that meeting? Just share a little hope. I look around this room, guys, and I see the miracles. 37 years sober, guys, and I lay down at night and I think about the people, the little dumpster fires that came to us in these rooms, and then they're out there right down there because they got married and they got a house full of kids now, or they've got up there and they've gone back to school and got degrees and they did all the cool shit that we're supposed to do in this life. The scary part that I see, not to beat this to death, but the people, like this self-pity stuff, is the people that get out there and beat themselves up and won't ever take a chance. Y'all thought? I got little stuff I use with my guys to try to help them get past that. You got to do what God placed you on this earth to do. And some of us, you've just gotten to a place where you won't listen to any of that. The question is never will God speak to you? The question is, will you listen? And most of you, when God speaks to you, you're sitting there spending the next 30 minutes explaining why that won't work. Really? You're in the world to play the role God assigns. You start getting excited about your recovery, folks. Go paint some pictures. Go read some cool shit. Go learn how to play an instrument. Learn to speak a new language. My job today is to stay sober. Oh, you're going to die. Oh, my God. Really? I know it's important. It's got to be a priority. I'm with that. But come on, guys. This is about getting out there and doing some cool shit with your life. And it's not okay that you're sitting in a meeting bored. It's going to take some time, guys. You got to look out. You got to make a list of some things. And we can talk about it. You holler at me, and I'll visit with you anytime you want about it. But that's what it's about. God, I didn't try to commit suicide in 1987 because I was drunk. I'd been drinking. Y'all understand that? I tried to commit suicide because I felt absolutely useless. I hated my life. I don't hate my life anymore. I found that God can use me to help a bunch of people and do certain things and my art, obviously. PLBB. It's not as bad as I thought it was. But the pages don't line up with our book. Plain language big book, guys. The pages don't line up. So if you're in a big book study and you're using that book, you're going to be left behind because you can't keep up with what they're talking about. Other than that, it's okay. I got one. Somebody bought me a copy. Yeah. I don't like living sober, but I read it. It's just they don't talk about the steps and God. Why don't we just talk? Yeah, this is called a big book. It's a little big book. Yeah. Oh, look. How are you doing today? Well, if Jared gets me back to the airport in time to catch that flight, I'll be doing really good. Guys, I got to tell you, there's so many of y'all in this room I've known over the years, and there's so many. I wish I could. I just get so touched, folks. The miracles that I've seen, the things that I've got a chance to witness. It's just. I spent 7 years in Alcoholics Anonymous not ever seeing a miracle. Well, it's easy for him to stay sober. He's rich. Well, God dang, look at her. I mean, of course she's going to stay sober. Stop. I landed in that room full of old geezers and young people that were carrying a message. Every meeting was a pep rally. Y'all heard me talk about it like that. Yo, you think all meetings should be pep? Yeah. Pep rally for God, folks. That's what it's about. I'll say it again, guys. I'm a fan of therapy, of sitting and talking. If you've got something going on, man, you can call me in a heartbeat. We can visit about it till the cows come home. I know life's tough, but sometimes, guys, it's us making life tough. Sometimes we need to make some decisions that need to be made. One of the hardest things to do in these rooms, I'll say it and shut up, is to commit to this deal. I watch a lot of people come in and they're going to commit a little bit. The line that the book uses, are you willing to go to any length? The book uses it several times in the book. Okay, I'm willing to go to any length, right up until the point you ask me to do something that I don't want to do. Four step this. I don't know. I'm not gonna make an amends. They hurt me more than I hurt them. Okay, y'all fine. But if you'll commit to finish this work, you don't have to have a smile on your face the whole time doing it. Commit to do it, you're going to see what I'm talking about. All of a sudden, things start to change in front of you, and you get a chance to go. But part of this commitment stuff is just, it happens. It allows you to get on through the work. So many people I see come back to treatment. Oh, I've tried this AA stuff. It doesn't work. Excuse me, did you ever work the 12-step? Well, no. Then shut up. How can you say it doesn't work if you've never tried it?
Does that include when they say, let me think about it?
Pretty much. It's like, buddy, think about it. But what? It ain't going to change my answer next week. It's just going to be the same. Get up there and then do this. We'll do it at we'll help you any way we can. But you're going to have an experience like you've never experienced before. That transformative thing that happens as a spiritual experience is real. Guys, I'm just telling you, it works for us. Let's just get in there and try to do what we can do. I'm going to repeat myself again. These little numbers back over here, that email, you can contact me anytime, and that phone number, by all means, if you leave me a message, I will always call you back. It's just not a deal. If you just call me and don't leave a message, maybe not, because I don't know who you are. I don't know. But just call her so we can stay together. Every time I get a chance to come do one of these little talks, go to another Zoom or whatever. Just my little circle of buddies. I know people all over the world. Who would have ever thought? People kicking butt, taking names, doing it. Thank y'all for letting me spend some time with you.